Welcome back to the Avenue, and thank you for joining me today. I am so happy that you're here. If you have been following me for a while, thank you for the return. If you're new to this space, thank you for coming in and watching today. We have a special show for you today, and you know I'm a realtor, so there's a few things that's coming up now that the market is kind of changing, and the finances are changing, and there's being wealth transferred from one generation to the next. So I'm going to talk about if you happen to inherit a house, what to do next. It's not as simple as you think. Stay tuned. As a realtor, I see all kinds of opportunities, and people pass on and pass their property to their children. You know, things are being transferred out here, and so I see various things and I'm approached with various things, and being in the business for a while, I know how certain things have to go step by step by step, regardless of what you want to do with that property. So in the cases, as of late, I'm being approached by a couple of people that relatives have passed on and left them some property. What to do with that property? First thing that you need to do is the title company is going to ask, especially here in Texas. I can't speak for other states, but if there was a will, how do you know this property is going to be passed on to you? Because it's probably titled in someone else's name. And so if there was a will that or a trust, it'll make the process much easier. However, if there was a will, it has to be probated as well. The trust has to be played out. Doesn't have to necessarily go through probate, but a will does, and there's a process for that. So a lawyer will have to be hired and take you through that process with the courts and everything. And all it is just making sure that whatever's in the will is legit, and there's no one else out there that wants to claim something, or no one else out there that wants to actually challenge the will. It'll be put out for certain amount of days for people to see publicly, to come in and challenge if they feel like, oh, I was a long lost relative and they promised me a part of that house or whatever it is. Now, if they don't have a will, there's a different process. You have to get affidavit of heirships and signed off and all of that, which could take a longer process, because whether the will, you just have to determine who owns the property. And that's going to have to be determined about how many kids were left. If one of the children died, if they had children, it can get to a long, drawn out process. That's why I'm a big proponent of at least get a will in place for your house, your property, or whatever it is that you want to leave. Because one way or another in the state of Texas, you're going to have a will. You're either going to have the will following your wishes, or you're going to have the will the state of Texas says that you have to go by. And you will follow what the state of Texas says, their wishes, and not necessarily your wishes. So get a will in place so that you will have your wishes followed once you pass on, and you can leave your property to your relatives, whoever's left over, or whoever you want to leave it to. You could leave property to an institution. You could leave it to anybody, or a church or something like that. So but the thing is to get the will in place. Everything will be in writing. You'll know exactly what to do, but you have to go through this probate session before you can do anything else with that property, whether it's house or land. It'll verify everything. Once it's probated, then the judge will give you the okay. You can sell the property or rent it out or do whatever else you want to do with it at that point in time. But these are some steps that most people don't know, especially if they've never done this before. So I'm here to help you. As we're getting the legal items out of the way, during that time, another thing that you will want to check into is the finances on the property. Is it totally paid off? Are you still owing money on it? Did they have a reverse mortgage on it? That could possibly come up. Are there taxes due on it if it's in an HOA, or all the HOA dues set up? These are things that kind of could impede your sale or whatever you want to do with that property. So make sure you check those finances out for yourself. If it's a house and you're still having electricity and the utilities going on at the house, you'll still have to pay those. You'll have to have insurance on the house still. So there's some things, as taxes come due, property taxes here in Texas, you'll have to have those paid. So it's not just, oh, I got a house, I got all this money, and I don't have to put out anything. There may be some things that you have to take care of, specifically property taxes. Even if you cut all the utilities off, you still have property taxes, and I would say still have insurance on that property, because if something were to happen, such as a total fire or total loss or a hurricane, or the roof gets torn up, anything like that, you will have the coverage to go ahead and make sure you're covered, and it won't be a huge loss. You'll pass that risk from you on to the insurance company. So these are some things that you need to think about when you inherit a property. This has too a lot to do with your personal finances. Are you in a position to continue to do this? Pay taxes on it, keep the insurance up, or make payments on it if the mortgage is not paid off? You have to ask yourself that. So these are some things you have to think about. It's not just, well, we got this and we want to rent it out, or we got this and we want to sell it. There's some other things you need to think about. That's why it's a good thing to get in contact with a realtor that can help you down the road to either selling or renting the property out, whatever you want to do with that property. What I'd like for you to do now is hit that like button and that subscribe button so that you can stay up to date on the latest information as it becomes available to you. As you can see, I'm giving you information on real estate as well as finances. I want to help you 100% whatever comes into your life. So I wanted to bring this to you because I'm seeing more and more of that in the state of Texas. People are coming to me asking me questions about that. So I want to educate as many people as I possibly can. Like I said, my expertise is coming from the state of Texas. Get with a local realtor wherever state you're in, or you can contact me and I can get you with a local realtor in your state that can help you with that, because the states are different. Texas does not have a state tax, but some of the states out there, or majority of the states out there, they do. So you'd have to get in on that information. So make a comment. Have you been through something like this before? And which path did you take? Did you sell the property? Did you rent the property out? Let's not just let properties go and someone take these properties from us after our relatives have worked so hard, paid for them, and passed them on along to you, or their wishes were to get them to you. Now, usually when something like this happens, someone finds out, friends, family finds out that you've inherited a property, everybody wants to have input on it. Even though most people have never been a landlord, have never been in this position that they've inherited a piece of property. So, but everyone wants to have something to say about, oh, you should rent it. Don't let it go. Your mother's wishes were to always keep the property. And, all of this is going to be coming at you. And the best thing to do is to get a real estate agent that knows how to handle these kind of properties and that can help you. Someone that's either in investments, someone that's in, maybe a landlord, or handle these properties as passed on from one generation to the next generation. Because like I said, there's a lot to consider, and you're going to get a lot of information in this video right here. But there is, if you decide to keep that property, because you're going to be tossing between keeping it or selling it, moving into there's some decisions that's going to need to be made for the property. I would not encourage anyone to let property sit idle because the houses die when there's no one living in them. It's a true fact. They just start to deteriorate. And so what you want to do is make a decision on what you want to do with that. Now, that being said, you all, sometimes we inherit properties from our parents or from, an older set of people that may not have kept the property up. It may be fully paid off, but they may not have kept the property up to par. And when we inherit these older houses that's, 60 years old, 50 years old, the house itself, you have to consider the electrical components, the plumbing in it, the roof, the foundation, especially here in Texas, if all of that is good. And if it's not all good, if they haven't kept it up, the maintenance on the house, it may be a lot that you may have to do to get it ready to either rent or sell if you want to sell it at top price. So that means you're going to have to be in a financial position to do this. Most people that I'm running into, they either don't want to pull their finances out to do that, or they're not in the financial position to actually do this. But this is something that you have to consider. This is something that your friends and family don't think about. They just think, oh, just put a renter in there. And I would never just put a renter in there, because things, if the house is old, things are going to go wrong with it, you know. And so unless you get it checked out, get the inspections done, make sure the foundation's good, make sure the electrical wires are good, make sure the plumbing's good, just various things, the water lines are good, all of this. It's a lot. And it's going to take time, and it's going to take you getting bids, spending time getting bids, talking to people, you know, setting up for the work to be done. It may be months and months and months until you get to rent it. But it's a doable thing if that's what you want to do. But just consider all of this before you make that solid decision. And these are things that your friends, they don't know about. They can't tell you about. They just see that, oh, you want to keep it in the family. Well, you can keep it in the family, but make sure you do the maintenance to it so that it's up to par, where it won't continue to just start breaking down on you and things start to happen with that property. Now, because people are people, and when it comes to the death of someone, there's a lot of emotions involved. And so family members are going to have things to say. And there may be disputes as to what you want to do with that property, especially when there's more than one person involved. If it's inherited by a group of people, I've seen some folks want to sell it, the other half not want to sell it. They want to keep it. However, they don't want to pay taxes on it. So the purpose of getting together, getting the family together and working these things out, try to work things out and come to a conclusion as to what you want to do with it. It could be that the other half that doesn't want to sell, buy the half that wants to sell out. That could be one way of resolving the issue. But more than likely, I mean, it's been my experience that the people who don't want to sell, they don't have the money to purchase the ones who want to sell out. So it becomes a dispute, and it could be months and months and months. Sometimes months turns into years because the family can't get together on this. You don't want to lose that property because the family can't get together. Try to come up with something that is amicable to everyone that's involved. And, you know, because when it comes to that, you all, money's involved. You're going to, like I said, every year these taxes are coming due. And if you want to keep the property, you have to pay the taxes. Unless someone could come, if it goes on a tax sale, and purchase it from up under you, and now no one wins. The family, the thing that your parents worked so hard for is gone, and you don't win, and the people who wanted to keep it, they don't win, nobody wins. You don't want to get to this point. So make sure the family is together on it. Sometimes there are issues with, you know, there's a dispute as to who really owns the property, who it was meant to go to. Sometimes people want to hold off until all the stuff is out of the property, or let's divide stuff over. Sometimes there's arguments about dividing stuff over, you know, between siblings and stuff like that. It could be a whole thing because we're dealing with people. So with people comes emotions, you know, and everybody has an opinion about this. So work all of that out as much as possible. A lot of this, you all, could be worked out if you have a trust. A lot of this could be worked out ahead of time. If the people put in certain clauses in the trust as to who's going to make these decisions, that will end most arguments right there, right? So make sure you check into not only wills, but check into a trust if you know that there could potentially be issues, or if you know that there's a lot of people involved and there still could potentially be issues. Make sure you check into that trust. Okay, now a realtor can really help you through this process, as well as analyzing the market to see whatever your decision is. We can help you decide or analyze the market and show you the comps if you were to sell the property as is with no updates, just nothing done to it, move the furniture and get everything out, just sell it as is to investors or someone looking for that property to renovate it themselves. We can give you comps for that. We can give you comps and show you pictures or actual houses that have been totally renovated. We don't know exactly how much they put in it, but you can see the like kind of material that they use to update the property. We can show you that. You can go price things out and see if that's the way you want to go. If you want to move into the property, we can show you, you can move into the property. You would still have to do some updating, but we could get you a full scale of updates from, checking out just the bones, the electrical, the plumbing, foundation, all of that, making sure that's good and selling the property, or of total renovation and selling it on the market for that, to see which one is best for you. If you rent it out, it's going to we can show you how the properties looks that's renting out so that you can be competitive. We can show you how much a month you're going to get for that property to rent it out. So we can be invaluable to you when it comes to you inheriting a property. So you don't have to be in the situation is I've inherited this property. What now? Once you've reviewed this video, and you can go back through it to pick up tips here and there. You can also, contact me if you have specific questions. You can put comments down with specific questions. I can help you as much as possible. But like I said, I'm in the state of Texas, so there are certain things that I can tell you, but there are certain things that if it applies differently to your state, I won't be able to help you with that. But if it's just, just a question a general question is probably something that I can help you with. So with that, hopefully you got something out of this video. It's been valuable to you, and I will see you in the next video.